Thank you, Congressman, and all of us up here, of course, are available for any questions, and we will begin now. You'll raise your hand. Yes, sir. Could you identify yourself and what outlet you're with?
Yeah, I'm Bryce from KPRC. I'm just curious, because DHS yesterday said the reason these officers didn't have the body cameras was because of the government shutdown. Do you know if any ICE officers in Houston have body cameras, or is it just this particular group of them that didn't?
I think the blame on the shutdown is just ludicrous. They were given $20 million just for this purpose. Kristi Noem pledged in February this year that she was procuring them and sending them to the field. I know the priority then was Minneapolis, but they also got, I can't even remember the number now, like $95 billion from the Big Ugly Bill, and they recently got another billions. That's just a freaking excuse. Because the bottom line is they made a commitment, so they're either lying to Congress again, or they're just don't know how to get a body cam purchased.
Do you know, though, if any other agents in Houston actually have them? Or
No, I did not ask that question. My concern was for the officers that were there, so I do not know, but they did say that about, I think it's like less than 30% of the agents nationally have body cam cameras. Only about 30% have them. No, mira, diciendo que fue por el shutdown de los demócratas es ridículo, ¿no? Porque le hemos dado muchos fondos a ICE, fondos que yo no voto por ellos, porque yo he dicho desde el principio que yo no voy a votar por un más níquel para ICE hasta cuando hagan cambios. Así es que ese excuso es ridículo, porque les mandamos como 2 millones y unos billones. Tienen mucho dinero, tienen más dinero que algunos países tienen para sus armed forces. Así es que eso más es ridículo.
Stephen Simpson with the Texas
Yep,
Tribune.
sure.
I was asking because, I guess this is a question for the lawyer.
Yes.
Okay.
You told the Washington Post that there were several statements about the ICE agents not being in front of the vehicle, that they were on the side, and that the gun was in front of one of the person's faces. Can you confirm those statements for us and sort of give us some more details on sort of where the ICE agent's placement was?
I think he said that already, but he'll add any details. Can you
open the mic, please?
Yeah, we're going to try to move it. Just bear with us, because you all want us to be taller.
Yeah, there's a platform
and it
here.
is a little unsteady.
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Hugo Balderas, last name Balderas. They confirmed that at no point was there ever an ICE agent directly in front of the vehicle. They also confirmed that the shots came from the sides, not from the front, which is inconsistent, with the ICE agent statement. So they said that at no point was there ever an ICE agent in front of the vehicle. Sí, hablé con los detenidos ayer y ellos me aseguraron que en ningún momento hubo ningún agente, ningún oficial de ICE enfrente del vehículo, enfrente del coche, que en ningún momento corrían peligro estos agentes de inmigración, que los disparos vinieron del lado y no de enfrente, y que en ningún momento corrían riesgo los agentes.
Can I have one thing? Just
The DA wants to just add one step.
Okay. I know every single one of you has incredible and detailed questions about this. I just want to say from this perspective, we need to be very careful about specifics of this investigation, both for the federal investigation that, again, I desperately hope is being conducted, but for any state prosecution of anything going forward, we need to respect the integrity of the investigation. And so for all of us and for all of you, I would just caution about specificity around this investigation.
Sean Teare, Orco Commando with KHOU. You mentioned your investigators have been on the scene. I know they were back out on Canal Street this morning. Can you elaborate on anything that they found at this point?
I'm not going to go into specifics about what we found. I can go into specifics about some of the things that we have done and are doing. We are blessed with an incredible amount of resources inside the DA's office. We're soon to be the second largest county in the United States. So we have drones. We have laser and digital mapping. We are going to map blocks around this scene so that we can subsequently put on a presentation to anyone about exactly what happened. We're pulling every surveillance footage that we can possibly get, not just from the scene of the shooting, but for blocks in every direction. We're looking at a lot of other ways to trace back where all three vehicles involved came from and where they were before. We're working and have had collaboration with the Houston Police Department that was not invited into this investigation either, but was on the scene helping with crowds and such of that. So they're being very collaborative, as they always are. We've been in communication with the FBI, who is not running this shooting investigation, but the FBI has been incredibly supportive and informative so far. So I'm not going to get into what we pulled, how we pulled it, but I am going to reiterate my call and my request to anyone watching this, to anyone that can hear this. If you have the slightest piece of information about this shooting, please come forward and give it to the DA's office.
And is there a plan with the?
You mentioned earlier that you're hoping that the federal government will share their evidence and information with you at the end of this. Are you prepared to file suit against the federal government if they don't provide that information?
So I said earlier that we will go to the ends of the earth in order to interview all relevant witnesses. We will go to the ends of the earth in order to look at all the evidence that's obtained through any agency in any way. If that involves lawsuits in our civil district courts here in Harris County, I have the county attorney, Abby Kamen, right here. We will jointly do that. If it involves lawsuits in federal district courts all the way up to Washington, D.C., rest assured I have people that have and will do that too. We are not going to rest.
Have you ever had, you prosecutor, I would assume more previous first or actually shooting cases. Have you ever had a federal partner not collaborate with you in this way?
No. I have been a prosecutor in the DA's office starting as an intern in 2005. I have pretty significant institutional memory about this, and you can go back, the first one that I really have a recollection where I was high enough to understand it in the office was the 2018 tragic shooting of a hostage victim by the FBI. The FBI from day one invited the DA's office in. We worked together on that case, and it was a collaboration from beginning to end. So tragically, in a county of this size, we have had federal agents have to utilize deadly force before. This is a unique situation. Yes. Yeah.
You recounted very little about what your clients say happened. Can you just explain to us detail what they say that they look like? Were law enforcement lights on? Did they ever have any commands from law enforcement to stop? Just anything that you can help us with what they told you during your conversation yesterday.
Yeah, no, so pretty much what we discussed was what I spoke with to the Washington Post. We spoke briefly. I was in there waiting for hours before I was able to talk to them. So I do plan on going to speak with them this Saturday as well to get some more information. But pretty much everything that was said in the
With respect to the pressure to self-deport, is it? Do you know if they're being pressured with criminal time if they don't self-deport? Is it one, or are they threatening maybe family members that might also be out of status? Can you describe a little bit about what?
I'm not sure as far as the details. I don't want to get into all of that. But it is a tactic that ICE uses. They do threaten immigrants with deportation. They threaten them with 10-year penalties. They threaten them with never being able to come back to the United States legally. This is just a tactic that they use in order to expeditiously remove as many immigrants as possible.
Given what we're now hearing from the men who were in the van, I want to put this question directly to anyone who would like to answer. Do you believe that the ICE officers are lying about what happened?
Would you like to?
Yeah, well, we certainly now have conflicting testimony. I mean, we certainly now see videos, and I've seen it one at least, that there appears to be no damage whatsoever to the van. So Yes, I think that as the case unfolds, much like the case in Minneapolis, remember that this is a straight copy playbook of ICE. They say the person weaponized the car, that they tried to run over an officer, and that the officer acted in self-defense. Same story, second verse. And we found out then, through the video, through the witness testimony, through what came from the public, that it was all not true. We are leading in that direction. I'm not prepared to say today that it's all lies, but it sure is looking that way.
Are you aware if any of the detainees have had their statements recorded by FBI investigators or?
I've not been to visit them. I had planned to go yesterday or tomorrow, but once I knew, of course, that they had lawyers, we deferred to the lawyer. I may still go tomorrow. I have not made a decision yet.
Congresista, David Herrera, Univision. Una pregunta, I just want to clarify this. This is something that we got from DHS to us.
Sorry, this is, it's not very steady.
That's fine, just leave it in. That's good.
We would like to know which partner agency notified ICE, and this is, I'm going to quote, this is what we got from DHS. After receiving a credible tip from our law enforcement partners, our officers conducted surveillance on a target's address weeks prior to the incident. They noted two white vans at the property on July 7. Officers were almost at the target's address when they observed a white van with an individual who resumed the target. Officers then initiated the vehicle stop. Do you know which local partner?
No, I do not. That appears today to be a different story than what I was told in my conversation with the acting director yesterday. Remember, he told me it was an operation and that there was an order of removal for one of the passengers and that they suspected that the passenger was in the vehicle. Now, if today's story is different, then that goes again to the question of credibility. And, who knows what the answer will be tomorrow. But that's why we need a complete, thorough investigation and a fact-finding from top to bottom. And we have to make sure that it does include our local partners. ICE cannot be doing this alone because otherwise we'll end up just like in the Good case. Nothing. 6 months and we've heard nothing. No one's been held accountable. There's been no real movement from ICE. All they're doing is repeating the same playbook. And we're Houston. We're not going to put up with it. All our partners here with me, we're going to continue together to get to the bottom of this and to give justice to Lorenzo and to make sure that our city remains safe and that ICE knows that if they come into our town, we're going to keep our eyes on them.
Does anybody know when Mr. Salgado remains will be released?
I think that's a private matter for the family to answer. So
Back to the legislative power. Given the pattern and practice of DHS and ICE, this is not the first shooting that has happened, as you've mentioned before. What would it have to take for Congress to exercise subpoena power to obtain the records from DHS and ICE to conduct?
Well, we've got to get the Committee of Jurisdiction, as the Congress has noted. We've got to get the Committee of Oversight to act. We've got to have Judiciary. I know I've had reached out by the Judiciary Committee. Senator Durbin is also going to be at making inquiries. So, we'll be back in Washington on Monday. We will be on top of making sure that we get answers. But the difficulty, let's be real. These are not normal times. Normally, we would have called immediately the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, and they probably would have been here the next day. But these are not normal times. We have an acting attorney general who was the personal lawyer to the man in the White House. We have orders from that White House to just pick up everybody that they can any way that they can. So we will exert our authority, but the challenge is that the committees that have to vote, the gavel is in the hands of Republicans. So it is going to require a real change.
Right now that the Republicans you would need to support of Republicans.
Yes, in a committee for a vote for a subpoena, yes, ma'am.
Are you guys working on ID the agent?
I'm sorry?
Are you guys working on identifying or getting information on the ICE agents? And
We have asked, we've not gotten a response.
Have you been told their current status with the agency?
It's my understanding, I was told, things are running day before yesterday, that the ICE agents were removed from Houston the very next day.
Are they still
Which-
on duty somewhere else?
Well, I have no idea.
Do you all have a concern that local businesses or even residents, they might have some footage, might have erased it or might have been threatened and erased it, asked by law enforcement to erase any surveillance video that they have and not release it to the public?
So far, I know the day of the incident, I sent a staffer down that street to help identify where there might be some video, because we wanted to make sure we secured that. We think that we've gotten almost everything that it's needed. It's been given to the DA or it's been given to LULAC. Some people have forwarded things to me. We're going to try to get all that together to make sure the DA has it. And I don't know, I cannot say if anyone had anything deleted, because frankly, the issue's not come up.
Is there video of the actual incident anywhere? I mean, the actual
Not that I
shooting?
have seen.
No video of the shooting?
Not
But
that
there's
I have
video
seen
after
that.
him laying on the
Not that I
ground?
have seen.
Is that fishy at all, that the actual incident?
I really am not going to respond to that. I mean, if there's no video, there's no video. All I can tell you is there's no video from a body cam camera, although they've had plenty of money to do that. There was none on the dashboard. And again, there was an unmarked car. The director tried to debate with me that, well, they don't do that because they have to do surveillance and that in fact they have lights and sound. I said, sir, I have seen probably half a dozen videos. There are no lights and no sound.
Congresswoman Garcia, you said that they were removed from Houston and they're not in the area, but does that mean that they're still doing the job?
I don't know, ma'am. All I can tell you is I was told that they were whisked away the next morning. That's almost the exact words I was told.
Do you know if there was a delay in Mr. Araujo receiving medical attention?
We are looking into that. I had breakfast with the mayor this morning. That, of course, was the Houston Fire Department. And we are still looking at that because I know the family has some concerns. The mayor and I will probably be doing a press briefing later this afternoon. We'll keep you all posted. It will be at City Hall.
You've been the only person to speak to 3 of the witnesses who actually saw what happened here. Could you tell us how your clients are doing emotionally after what they witnessed? A man lost his brother. You mentioned 2 of them lost a friend.
Well, sorry. Obviously, I think they're still, they're still shaken by the whole situation. But given all the circumstances, they're doing better than I thought they were going to be doing. There still is, like we mentioned, an ongoing investigation, so I don't want to get into too many details with that, but they're doing fine, better than I feel that I would be doing under that circumstance. But yeah, I think that it's maybe hasn't hit them yet, but they seem to be holding up.
Mr. Valdez, what's the likelihood that the 3 gentlemen you're representing do sign those voluntary self-deportation papers?
He represents 2 of the 3 men.
Mr. Valdez, can you say what the likelihood is that they sign those voluntary deportation papers?
Anything I would say would just be speculation. I have no idea. I've reiterated to them to not sign anything, and that we're going to help them out. We're telling them we're working on these cases diligently. My main focus is to get them out, so that they can continue with their immigration process outside of the detention centers.
Go ahead and do it in Spanish.
Sí, que no puedo decir, no puedo decir, sería especulación si yo les digo de que si van a firmar documentos o no. Lo único que sí les puedo decir es que es muy importante, y yo les dije a ellos que es muy importante que no firmen nada antes de primero consultar conmigo o con otro abogado, porque pienso que si es una táctica que han usado en el pasado a los agentes de inmigración de ponerles miedo, temor para que firmen su deportación y luego después pues esos fueron los testigos. Como digo, tal vez todavía no les pega lo que pasó, están en shock, pienso yo, pero están haciendo, están mejor que yo estuviera en esa cosa.
But did I present to them any paperwork to sign?
Not to my knowledge. However, that is a
We normally
tactic.
hear from the governor, we normally hear from DPS, Texas Rangers, have you talked to any of them about why they're not investigating this either?
No, I have not.
Have you heard from any of your Republican colleagues?
No, I have not.
An investigation?
No, I have heard from Senator Durbin, who's ranking member of Judiciary, because he too will make a request for full investigation. I've heard from Leader Jeffries, from Whip Clark, from Kamala Harris, a number of other friends and colleagues from around the country. This is, of course, a national story now, but we need to remember that it's all about the family and making sure that their privacy is protected. And please, yeah, I know somebody asked about the release of the body. Those are all issues that are very private. I will be visiting with the family probably today or tomorrow because they're just not even ready to have a visit from me. So please keep that in your mind. At the end of the day, this was a tragic death, and our job is to make sure that we get all the facts, that it's transparent, and that it's full and complete, and we cannot wait. Remember, the director would not tell me when the investigation may be over. We can't wait. Houston needs answers. This family needs answers. America needs answers. This should not be happening in our streets or any street in this country.
Your message to your Republican colleagues, because it sounds like you need their support for accountability to happen and for justice to happen. Your message to your Republican colleagues.
Well, I think my message is the same message that I gave to the director. That this is a grieving family. It could happen to any of us, especially if we have I'm Weta. They may not stop me, but they probably might stop some of my friends. This is about making sure that civil rights are protected, human rights are protected, constitutional rights are protected in this country, because it is today here in our country, our city. But it could be any other city. And we saw it happen in Minneapolis. We saw it happen in Chicago. In terms of ICE presence, I'm sorry. So we have learned some lessons. Apparently, ICE has learned nothing. If they really think that a car is going to hurt somebody, even a kid would tell you shoot the tires. You don't shoot the driver. So there's a lot of things, y'all, and I know Congressman Green wants to respond to the question about the committees.
Thank you. Actually, I would like to respond to your question, ma'am, about whether or not we believe. ICE consistently engages in a pattern of insidious prevarications. That's another way of saying lies. This pattern is so consistent. I sit on the committee. I have seen and heard the testimony. This pattern is so consistent that one can but only conclude that there are attempts to cover up these crimes. We don't want to believe that ICE would attempt to cover up a crime. But when they consistently use the same story, automobile attempting to assault an officer, officer has to shoot. Miss Good is now no longer with us. Pretty is now no longer with us. They consistently use this same language, and they do it, I believe, with intentionality such that the public will be confused. But I believe also that we have to stop it by investigating thoroughly and preventing a cover-up from taking place. If we don't, there will be a cover-up, and we won't know what happened, and justice will not be served. Thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez, did your client say when the shot actually happened, was the vehicle in motion, was Mr. Lorenzo inside the vehicle, was he outside the vehicle?
I didn't ask them that question. I'm gonna go speak with them again on Saturday, get some more information, but also, they just experienced a huge tragedy, so I didn't want to get into detail too much. I just spoke to them briefly. And like I said, I'm going to go talk to them again on Saturday, but they did not mention anything.
And to clarify, did you say that those shots came from the side? That's what they told you initially?
It's still, that's apparently one of the witnesses thought that it came from the side, but it's not been verified. Like I said, I just spoke to them briefly. And there's still a lot of investigating to do on the part of the DA, on the part of the Bureau, the agencies, and as well for me to build up a defense for them, to get them out of the detention center. There's still a lot of information that I still need to get from them.
And from the sign, does that mean that he was inside the
It's a
vehicle?
different account than what your account, the account of the ICE officers is what you can confirm from the witnesses.
Yeah, I believe that the account is very different from what the ICE agent said.
Mr. Valderas, do you know if your clients have been interviewed by investigators yet?
No, I'm not sure. I have not spoken with them regarding that.
Councilwoman Garcia,
Yeah, we'll take about one or two more questions, y'all.
conversations with the acting ICE director, did he mention anything about who agents were specifically looking for?
They said a individual that had a final order of removal, and that they thought that that individual was one of the passengers. He refused to tell me which one of the two passengers. He did say it was not Ms. Lorenzo, and he did say that it was not the brother. So by process elimination, it was one of the other two. One of those, both of those are his clients. So we will have to wait and see. Again, facts are coming out, every hour. And we just want to make sure that the public knows that we're fully united in getting to the truth and to finding justice, and that we do urge them, if they have any bit of evidence, a video, a picture, or someone told them something, do not assume it's not important. Let the DA decide if it's not important. So with that, I just want to take one last question, and then we're going to have to wrap it up.
Yeah, DHS says a local agency tipped them off about this. Do we have any idea what that local agency is?
No, I do not. That's a news story today that we've not been able to track down. But we're not aware of any other agency. Just so everyone knows, I was told, even on the way to Ben Taub, when I went to try to help the family there at Ben Taub, because we had some issues with Ben Taub and the ME's office, and that's another story, but not for today. I was told that the FBI was not even handling any of it except for that one possible charge of assault to an officer, but I don't know against whom, and that everything had to go through Department of Homeland Security headquarters in Washington.
Congresswoman, there is zero trust of ICE in this community. I have to ask you directly, do you have faith in anything ICE tells you at this time?
With his new director, since he's new, number one, he's told me and committed that he would have all agents in the field in this country with body cam videos trained, operable, and used by the end of the month. Let's see whether he honors that commitment. So I don't know him, but I do know that he worked for GEO, which is one of the companies that has the contracts for these detention centers. So, I'm a human being. I, keep that in my mind. But the level of trust, not only from this community, but I think it's communities across America, because we see what they're doing. They appear to be rogue officers, and I would even give them the credit of being called law enforcement officers, because they do not go through the same standards and training as all other law enforcement officers. And the perfect example is this whole idea that they released a name that was the decedent before they had gotten a hold of next of kin. That is just standard practice. I mean, you all say that in your news stories. They will not release a name because they're trying to get to the next of kin. But yet, they transferred him and booked him at Ben Taub as a John Doe. But he was targeted. So either you know the name or not, and then you should be respectful to a family. So bottom line is we're staying on it, and I'm pleased to see that Commissioner Ellis has joined us, because Commissioner, we do have some issues with Ben Taub and the Medical Examiner's Office that we will be discussing later. But again, thank you all for being here. I know that a couple of us will still be around in case there's any follow-up questions. Thank you all for being here.
And I want to let you know that the letter I referenced closes today and will be sent at some point in the future. Thank you.